Know the top stories of the day. Understand the issues that matter. This is Manila Bulletin News on Web. Your quick rundown of top news in the country and around the world. Manila Bulletin, celebrating 120 years of timely stories and timeless truths. Be fully informed.
Hi, I'm Barbie Atienza. This is MB Now, and here are your news on web. President Rodrigo Roa Duterte assured the public that the government will prioritize the safety and quality of all COVID-19 vaccines being distributed across the country, as he urged Filipinos to receive the shot to prevent the further spread of the disease. Duterte made the statement as he witnessed the arrival of 1,124,100 doses of AstraZeneca donated by the Japanese government at the Villamor Air Base in Pasay City. In his speech, the president reiterated that the vaccines being distributed in the country are all safe. He urged the public to get vaccinated, saying the government was working hard to get more shots. The president reminded the public to continue following health protocols even when they have completed their 2 doses of the vaccines. Meanwhile, President Duterte commended the National Task Force Against COVID-19 and the Department of Health for ensuring the successful delivery, distribution, and rollout of vaccines across the country. He added that the country's health authorities were actively collaborating with international counterparts in continuing studies of vaccine safety and efficacy. Duterte likewise thanked Japan for sending more than 1 million doses of AstraZeneca vaccines, saying these vaccines would help the country's efforts to attain herd immunity. The government's pandemic task force has finally allowed children aged 5 and up outdoors in select areas. In a statement, Presidential spokesman Harry Roque said, children at least 5 years old are now allowed to go outdoors in select areas under the MGCQ and GCQ, except those under heightened restrictions. Roque said the outdoor areas where children will be allowed are in the playgrounds, beaches, biking and hiking trails, outdoor tourist attractions defined by the DOT, and in al fresco dining establishments. Kids, however, are still not allowed in mixed-use indoor-outdoor buildings and facilities like malls and other similar establishments. According to Roque, children must be supervised by adults and observe minimum public health standards such as the wearing of face masks and social distancing. Local government units may increase the above age restriction of children depending on the COVID-19 situation in their respective jurisdictions. Meanwhile, IATF has allowed LGUs to keep requiring a negative RT-PCR test result for fully vaccinated travelers, but said vaccination cards were still a sufficient alternative. Presidential spokesman Harry Roque made the statement after LGUs and health experts expressed concern about the decision of the IATF to allow the presentation of vaccination cards in lieu of testing requirements for the interzonal travel of fully vaccinated individuals. The World Bank Philippines on Thursday, July 8, issued an apology to the Philippine government and the Department of Education for inadvertently releasing an education report on the poor learning outcomes of Filipino students. The World Bank Philippines said that such move was an oversight on their part and that it already has conveyed their personal apologies in their communication with the government. Recognizing the inadvertent release of the report, the World Bank said it has taken steps to temporarily remove it from the website. Aside from issuing an apology, the World Bank also recognized the reform initiatives of the DepEd related to education quality. The World Bank also agreed with the DepEd that the issue of quality has a long historical context and support its demonstrated commitment to resolve it decisively. In a televised public briefing on July 5, Education Secretary Leonor Briones said that the World Bank should issue a public apology after the country was insulted and shamed after an outdated report was released. The Philippine Red Cross is eyeing to bring down the cost of its COVID-19 testing to pave the way for the gradual resumption of face-to-face classes. PRC Chairman and CEO Senator Richard Gordon on Friday, July 9, said that offering cheaper COVID-19 testing will help to slowly open up schools that have been shut down at the onset of the pandemic in March 2020. Gordon said that as soon as the PhilHealth pays PRC the 480 million pesos that is due, they can bring down the cost of testing to help the education sector and the economy bounce back. He pointed out that children can go back to school safely if they are tested negative and strictly follow health protocols. Reacting to a study issued by the World Bank that the plight of Filipino students is dire, Gordon said, "It is what it is." He also lamented that many children are being left behind as there is no clear plan. The PRC was the first to respond to the pandemic by vigorous testing, establishing multiple testing facilities, and introducing the cost-effective saliva test. To date, the PRC has conducted over 3.4 million tests, or 23% of the country's total count. Here is a roundup of news in and around Metro Manila. Let's watch these reports.
The local government of Valenzuela City has issued standard protocols for off-site vaccination facilities of private establishments. The city's Ordinance Number 905 Series of 2021 will ensure the collaboration between the local government and the private sector on the distribution of COVID-19 vaccines. An off-site vaccination facility should have sufficient venue space for physical distancing, appropriate vaccine cold storage, enough power outlets and electrical capacity, and restrooms. Also a waiting area, pre-vaccination counseling and final consent area, screening area, vaccination area, and post-vaccination area must be set up at the site. The Pateros municipal government has vaccinated 73% of its target population with the first dose of the COVID-19 vaccine and is aiming to reach 100% this month. As of July 8, 35,937 individuals in Pateros have received the first dose, or 73.34% of the target population of 49,000. There are also 8,825 individuals who are now fully vaccinated after receiving their second dose, or 18% of the target population. Mayor Miguel Ponce also announced that Pateros will start its weekend vaccination on July 10 to serve those who work and those who only go back to the town during weekends. Manila Mayor Francisco Isko called the public not to scam or prank delivery riders after fake orders were placed under his name and delivered to his office. In a report Thursday, the local government of Manila said 5 riders were scammed by a fake online order. The said orders were booked in different mobile delivery apps by users with different international mobile numbers. Dumagoso appealed to the public not to prank, poke fun of, or harass riders with fake deliveries, for they just want to work honestly and honorably. Grab Philippines, for its part, said it has conducted an investigation on the matter.
And now let's take a look at the latest news in other parts of the country. Here are the details.
Inbound travelers to Negros Oriental can now present a vaccination card and negative antigen test result for COVID-19 as an alternate entry requirements, a provincial official said on Thursday. Capital Information Officer Bimbo Miraflores said a traveler to Negros Oriental now has this option over the previous requirement of a negative RT-PCR test result. The latter is a standalone requirement, while the other two must be presented together. Miraflores added that a fully vaccinated person is not guaranteed free of COVID-19, so it shall also be required of that individual to present a negative antigen result. Kapit lang sir, babalik kami. Those words, which have become synonymous with hope, became a catchphrase after it was used by a Tausug militiaman in rescuing a soldier from the wreckage of a military plane that crashed in Sulu last Sunday, July 4. Sheriff Albridge Abdua Sakam, a 28-year-old Special CAFGO active auxiliary member of the 5th Special Forces Company, was among the first responders now hailed as heroes for saving lives of soldiers from the burning C-130 aircraft. In the now viral video, he can be seen holding the hand of the soldier while explosions can be heard in the background. He was able to save 4 more victims from the plane crash. In a phone interview, he said that he feels sorry for him even though he is a Christian and we are Muslims. However, more important than the phrase he made famous is the message he wants to send to the public about the people of Sulu. He said that not all Tausug are bad and that there are also those who are good.
Now for the updates from around the world, here is that report.
The government of Japan announced on Thursday a new virus state of emergency stretching throughout the Olympics. As reports said, organizers could bar fans from almost all events at the Games. With just 2 weeks until the July 23 opening ceremony, coronavirus infections are rising in the capital, and the spread of more infectious Delta variant has spooked officials. The rising cases threaten to derail plans to let up to 10,000 local fans into Olympics venues and could mean Tokyo 2020 is the first ever games held behind closed doors. Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga said the emergency measures, which are far looser than the harsh lockdown seen in other parts of the world, will be in place until August 22. But the government could lift the emergency earlier if the effect of vaccine becomes clear and an improvement is seen in the situation of hospital beds. Pfizer and BioNTech announced that they would seek regulatory authorization for a 3rd dose of their COVID-19 vaccine. It comes after initial data from an ongoing trial showed a 3rd shot pushed antibodies levels 5 to 10 times higher against the original coronavirus strain and the Beta variant, first found in South Africa, compared to the first 2 doses alone, according to a statement. In addition, the company expects that the 3rd dose will perform similarly well against the highly transmissible Delta strain, which is quickly becoming globally dominant. The companies anticipate the clinical studies will begin in August, subject to regulatory approvals. A man comes very close being struck by lightning outside his home in Springfield, Massachusetts, as Bob Brandon drags a garbage can up his driveway after returning home from work. After a few seconds of walking, a bellowing boom is heard, followed instantly by a lightning bolt. Bob right away left the garbage can on the side of his car and immediately got inside his house.
Here now are the latest in showbiz. Let's watch this.
Miss Universe 2018 Catriona Gray can now add judge to her multifaceted titles of being a supermodel, singer, host, and beauty queen. This after popular reality competition series SupermodelMe returns for another season with a set of new judges. The latest season promises a fresh approach, new challenges, a star-studded cast, and builds off the success of its first 5 seasons. Titled as SupermodelMe Revolution, it will be hosted by supermodel and actress Cindy Bishop. Apart from Catriona, the other judges include American photographer Yusai, TV host and MC Handley Hofer, and Singaporean actress, model, and entrepreneur Asi Wang. The new season will also feature Taskmaster's Monica Santamaria, who is a Filipino model and runner-up of Asia's Next Top Model Cycle 3, and Dana Slosar, a Thai model and winner of Asia's Next Top Model Cycle 6. Santamaria and Slosar will help mentor the contestants and offer them the best advice possible. The Asian premiere of SupermodelMe Revolution is set to air on October 11 on AXN Asia Channel.
Here are the latest news from the Manila Bulletin sports section. Let's watch this.
Member nations of the Southeast Asian Games Federation have unanimously decided to postpone the 31st SEA Games that Vietnam is hosting in November. Philippine Olympic Committee President Bambol Tolentino announced this on Thursday shortly after his virtual meeting with fellow SEA Games counterparts. Tolentino said member nations made the consensus for the health and safety of the athletes, adding that it is the best decision for everyone. The SEA Games was supposed to take place from November 21 to December 2 this year. Meanwhile, Tolentino also announced that pole vaulter EJ Obiena and judoka Kiyomi Watanabe will be the country's flag bearers to the Tokyo Olympics set on July 23 to August 3. Tolentino reiterated, all 19 Filipino athletes are qualified and deserving to carry the flag to the opening ceremonies, but the selection was logically based on the flight, competition schedule, and availability of athletes. Obiena is scheduled to compete on July 31, while Watanabe's match starts on July 27. Obiena was the first Filipino to qualify for the Games after hitting the Olympic standard at an Italian meet in 2019. Watanabe, meanwhile, secured a berth through continental quota in the women's middleweight 63 kilograms division.
And those are the news on web today, July 9, 2021. For more news and details, get your copy of the Manila Bulletin newspaper tomorrow, or you can log on to www.mb.com.ph. You may also subscribe to our newsletter through the link on this video's caption to have the day's latest news delivered to your inbox. I am Barbie Atienza for Manila Bulletin. Join us again on Monday. This has been MB Now. Be fully informed.